Welcome to March Madness Minute number 11. Today we're going to look at some accessibility features for both the Chromebook and the iPad. So one way we can make learning more accessible is by using the speech-to-text feature, and that is currently available in Google Docs, and I can get to there by going to Tools, Voice Typing, and that just came out this year. So if I click on Voice Typing, click to speak, and I need to give permission to allow use of my microphone. So one fall day, I went for a walk in the crispy leaves, period, new paragraph. Later on that day, it started to rain, period. I'm going to click to turn this off. So you can see that not only does it provide the text, but I can also give dictation responses such as new paragraph, as well as my punctuation. So that's one feature, and that's speech to text. Another place I can use speech to text is just at google.com, and here you'll see there's a microphone, and I do need to enable the first time. Okay, Google. So I need to allow it. Okay, Google, search for accessibility features. And there we go. So I'm also able to use speech to text at google.com. So in addition from having speech to text, you can also have text to speech. So to start, I did a Google search for Chrome Web Store, and it was the first link. And I want to search for something called Speak It, all one word. And if I do a search, it's going to be an extension. So this first extension is it right here, Speak It with an exclamation mark. I'm going to add to Chrome, add the extension, and here it's this little speaker right here. So I'm going to go back to my writing that wasn't perfect, but it's going to work for this. So first I'm going to highlight the text. Then I can click on that speaker and it's going to read it.
The wonderful day, I went for a walk in the crispy leaves. Later on that day, it started to rain.
And this also works if it's a PDF on any website, and it will read the text. So we have speech to text, and we also then have text to speech. Additionally, if you do a two-finger click, which is the same as a right click, you can go to Options. And here you have different speeds and volumes. We were also able to take the text and translate it into a different language. So we were able to translate a piece of text into Russian, and then we had a Russian speaker, so it didn't sound like an English speaker speaking Russian. It sounded like a native speaker speaking Russian. So you do have a lot of settings here that you can use to control your Speak It and really personalize it for the person using it. Now I have a lot of accessibility options on the iPad or the iPhone. So I'm in my settings, and if I go into General, and then we go down to accessibility, we have a lot of different options for issues with eyes, with hearing, motion. We're going to go into speech though for this. And I have a couple different options. The first one, if I turn this on, I can highlight text, and when I highlight text, it'll give me the option to have the text read to me. The second one allows me to swipe down from the top of my device down, and then I'll get an option to have text read to me. We can also choose different voices. So do we want an accent? If you're reading something in another language, it's nice to pick that same accent. It'll be a better experience. I'm going to go ahead, I'm choosing English, and from here I have some different options. Let's see, we'll use the Karen voice. And then we also have the option for speed, and you can change this while you're listening in some of the options as well.
Speed selection reads selected content.
So there's our example. And then do I want the text to be highlighted? Do I want the word being read to be highlighted? I can turn that on as well. And I don't usually use the auto correction one, so we'll leave that off for right now. And now what we can do is we're going to go to a happy news story. So here we go. So I'm going to hold my finger down on one of the words. I'm going to highlight a section of it here. You can see this can take a little bit of time, but then I have that speak option.
There are thousands of rescue animals waiting in shelters, hoping every day to be welcomed into their forever homes and to get a second chance at life. Steve Gregg has adopted more than 10 dogs and several farm animals, all of whom are seniors.
And so you can see there, actually the whole text was highlighted when it was doing the speaking, and then I would have to go down here, highlight the second section, have it read to me.
Currently, his home in Denver, Colorado, houses 10 dogs, a pig named Bikini who thinks she's a dog, too.
And you can tell it does sound like a computer, but compared to nothing, it's a really great option. So the other option was if I have two fingers at the top of my page and pull down.
Instagram, currently, his home in Denver, Colorado, houses 10 dogs, a pig named...
I can pause it, and I do have the option while it's reading. You can see it's highlighting the word, but I can change the speed while it's going here too.
Bikini who thinks she's a dog, 2 chickens, 2 ducks, 2 pigeons, a couple of cats who live in the garage and are on mouse duty, a rabbit and a pond full of koi. Instagram, I grew up with a lot of pets. Greg told, the dodo. Both my parents were animal lovers and they pretty much always let me have whatever I wanted as long as I could take care of it. Instagram, Greg has made it his mission to adopt the least adoptable animal at the shelter. A normal day for me is getting up at 5 in the...
So you can see it's reading the word Instagram because it's at the bottom of these photos. So that's a little bit awkward, but it's not too bad. And students don't just have to hear, they can also be looking at the text while they're hearing it and just having multiple senses. So that is how you can do text to speech. And now we'll look at speech to text. Now, speech to text on the iPad or the iPhone is going to work regardless of what app you're in, as long as you have the keyboard. And that's true most of the time. So this will work in Safari, it will work in Google Docs, it will work in email or notes or reminders. But any keyboard where you see the microphone right next to the spacebar, you're going to be able to touch the microphone. One fall day, comma, it was very wet and windy outside, exclamation mark. New paragraph. Later that day, comma, it started to rain, period. And so it works pretty much like the Chromebook does with Google Docs. The exception is with this keyboard, it works in more than one application. And so here we go, we were able to do both text to speech and speech to text on the iPad and the Chromebook. And they're not perfect, but they do give a lot of added functionality, not just to people who are not able to type or not able to see the text, but it's really a benefit for everyone.